Hello and welcome to another video where you cannot delegate communication. I'm Melanie Wood and I am your communication and leadership speaker. Now, are you a manager, leader, or emerging leader, or a business owner with teams? And are you wanting to be able to provide a space where your teams can be seen or heard? That you're wanting your meetings or your one-on-one conversations to be able to have feedback, to have the other person speak up and be able to contribute to the organization and to the teams. But sometimes you just find that nobody voices anything, or you give them instructions and then before you know it, nothing's getting done and you're wondering why and why that's happening. If that's you and you have experienced that, or you're going through that, or you're looking to be able to provide that safe space, because over the last year, there has been a lot of things around mindset and mental health and really creating that safe space for people on that road to recovery. So stay tuned in this video where we're going to talk about psychological safety in teams. And I am here to help you step up, step out and lead yourself and your teams. So we're going to talk about psychological safety because it is the foundation to be able to have your teams coming together, to connect, to have conversations, to be able to have a space where people can ask other people, are you okay? And how to respond in those situations. To have your teams and yourself to be able to have the courage and bravery to step up as well. Then let's talk about psychological safety in teams for today's video. And you can come back to this or you can take some notes as we're going along. But this is a video and a slide that I really want to share with you that you could be sharing with your teams. These are things my clients use a lot at the beginning of meetings, and it's called Just Like Me, Speak Human to Human. So these are things that people can then remember, that there's a person that has beliefs, perspectives, opinions just like me. So when people don't feel safe to voice their opinion or voice their ideas or suggestions, it's because they're not able to see themselves in the other person. Or you're in a team where there's been a lot of things happening in the year and people have then put people into scenarios or had their own judgments or assumptions on that person, because we don't communicate exactly about all the things that might be going on in our lives. So we're not being authentic, we're not being vulnerable. So these are things that you could be able to start at the beginning of your meetings or beginning of training, or to remind people when you're having those conversations, is that what you're experiencing, everybody else has experienced to some degree and slightly different to you. But whereas that person has similar things to you, person has hopes, they have anxieties, vulnerabilities just like me. They're a person that has friends, families, children just like me. This person wants to feel respected, appreciated, and content as well, having freedom to be seen and heard. The person wishes for peace, joy, and happiness, just like me. But when people are put into corners, or they're compartmentalized around where they're at, is that the person doesn't see them for who they are. They just see them for how they look on the outside, to how they've maybe reacted in the past, to maybe the person you're making up the stories in your own head about that person. So these are things to definitely remind yourself and remind your team. This is how you create and begin with psychological safety within your teams. Is that reminding everyone that they're human just like them. Even if at times they react instead of responding, it's remembering that they're all human. and people react and respond to different things going on. But remembering is that people could have got up that morning and had heaps of stuff happen to them before they've even got to the office or got to work or got on that Zoom meeting. And we forget that. So these are things to remind your team, remind yourself, and really start to use that to really bring in that connection, sense of belonging, to be able to contribute. These are things. So I want you to take it to your next meeting and ask everyone to pick one of those sentences and list out maybe what's their hopes, what's their anxieties, what's things that they feel vulnerable about. Or maybe you could start with one of the others. Depending where you and your team are at, pick one of those and really start to brainstorm that and get to know each other again. Because things have changed and we have different stories and we evolve and we grow. So take one of these sentences, take it to your next meeting or one-on-one conversation and be able to share. You share yours, they'll share theirs, and they'll start to really have reducing in any anxiety. They'll start to have more courage. And again, lowering the expectations for people to do this straight away as well. Remembering it's a journey, it's a process for people, and it's picking one thing at a time to create that safe space for people. So that's it from me today. Here's something that's going to help you and your team create that safety, allow people to step up, have courage and bravery to be seen and heard within your organization. And if you have not subscribed to these videos yet, please do now, and you can follow the weekly tips, steps, and ways in which you and your team are going to be able to come together and communicate more effectively. And remember, you cannot delegate communication. That's it from me. Bye for now.